Hello everyone, welcome back. Perhaps unsurprisingly, a kind of new kind of video was more successful on the channel than just like playing Magic the Gathering Draft over and over. And I just still find Urza's AI fun, so I thought I would do a series of videos about it again. But I tried to think of something I could do that would be different than what most people are doing. And I thought, you know what's a good source for interesting ideas about, magical world things? What about Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, the very thing that started this channel? So I've got a few videos planned where I'm going to take... I have 3 planned, we'll see. Where I'm going to take things that exist in Dungeon Crawl and ask Urza's AI, what would these things look like if they were in Magic the Gathering? And so for this first video, I tried to pick... We have 8. I have 8 monsters planned. I haven't looked at them. 8 non-unique monsters that are kind of thematic of Dungeon Crawl that you may have had traumatic experiences with, for example. I don't think I made them all like the strongest monsters there are, but they're like monsters you'll remember anyway. So let's get started. We'll review these magic cards, and I'll try to talk about how closely they hewed to the... We could read through the Dungeon Crawl wiki entry for them or something, but that would just take too long. So we'll just wing it here. So first up, we have Orc Priest, one of the scary things you can run into in the early game, right? They smite you down from far away. Irresistible damage, even if you don't have line of fire to them. So, what's the deal with an Orc Priest? It's a 3-mana, 1... This is fucking awful. Okay, great. It's a 3-mana 1/1, and it's an Orc Cleric, so pretty good. That sounds about right. It's a 3-mana 1/1. You can tap it to gain flying till end of turn. But it can't attack or block, because it's tapped, so it seems very bad. This like dodges Defenestrate or something, right? They spend removal on your 3-mana 1/1. You're like, haha, this creature has flying. Defenestrate can't work. The art looks pretty good though. It looks kind of priestly and orcish. I like that. What's the flavor text? The gold son of his clan would be highly effective in Black Ops. Oh my god, I thought this was okay. In Black Ops, where he could boost his own army with the ability to gain a fair amount of steel in any hour of the day. Malimo Expedition Master. This makes very little sense. Gold. Are we saying the gold son of? I thought it said skin. No, the gold son of his clan. That doesn't even make. Okay, this card is like a 0 out of 10 on strength. The art, pretty good, I like it. The flavor doesn't really make any sense. So there you go. That was Orc Priest. Who's up next? A Death Yak, a classic, just big ol' hunk of hit points and damage that you might encounter on your way into the lair. It's black, a 5-mana 5/4, good stats. A skeleton Death Keeper? I don't think that's a creature type, but sure. When Death Yak, they forgot the space, enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you discard a card. Okay, I mean, I could see putting this in like new player decks, right? There's something like that in the mono black starter deck on Magic the Gathering Arena, isn't there? It's like a 3-mana 5/5. With an additional cost, you have to discard a card. So this seems a lot worse than that. I mean, a 5-mana 5/4 would be good stats, but the fact that you have to discard a card, is more than enough to make this bad. It wouldn't be insane stats, it would just be good, and this costs a whole extra card. The smell of bone dung makes it almost undaunted. Oh, and it's actually even worse, because, like, you can't even cheat this out of the graveyard to avoid the discard, like you could with the 3-mana Mardu, whatever it is. Yeah, this is, I mean, flavor-wise, this is fine, I guess. I don't understand the art, but it's actually like the least fuzzy and confusing picture I've ever seen this thing produce. It looks very clearly like a desert background. There's some tusks there. Like a skeletal scarecrow, but with no legs? I feel like I can see exactly what this is depicting, which is pretty unusual for Urza's AI, so good job on the art on these first 2 so far. Who do we have next? We have an Emperor Scorpion, one of the, well, the biggest, beefiest monster in the Spider Nest. Not necessarily the most dangerous, right? I mean, ghost moths or moths of wrath could be more frightening in some contexts. And is that where entropy weavers are? It's been a long time since I played. I think they're in. I think this is more. I don't know. This guy's usually pretty harmless because you can run away from him if you have to, but he is quite large and can do a lot of damage if you're not careful. And very resistant, as I recall, to like hexing. So anyway, a 4-mana black card. I would have guessed green, but okay. It's a Scorpion. 4-mana 2/2 Death Touch. Oh, this looks pretty bad. 4-mana 2/2 Death Touch? I mean, they have 2-mana 1/1 Death Touches. And usually the extra power or toughness on this, on a Death Touch creature, doesn't matter that much. Extra toughness is good. But, like, what? You're going to block, like, a 1/8 and be like, all right, I have Death Touch. Like, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't seem that good. I guess the point is that if you attack with a larger Death Touch creature and they don't block it, it gets in more face damage, but I think that rarely matters. Some say that it can smell their victims. Others say that it can smell their souls. Okay. I was not aware of the supernatural nature of Emperor Scorpions, but I like the flavor text. I like the art. Is it a scorpion? I think it is, right? I mean, kind of weird blade-like claw toes, maybe? I don't know. I like it. You know, strength, like a 3 out of 10. Not very good. Next up, we have a Naga Sharpshooter. Now, this is the art I'm more used to seeing. It really is not at all clear what's being depicted. A 3-mana 2/2 zombie jackal. Doesn't really match up with being a Naga Sharpshooter, but okay. This is obviously one of the more dangerous enemies you would encounter in the Snake Pit. The 3-mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature with power 2 or less. This is pretty good, I think. In limited, at least. I would draft this in most black decks. You know, it's understated, but it destroys a creature with power 2 or less. And there are a lot of creatures with power 2 that you'd be happy to destroy. And for 3 mana, I would happily... Like, it's a weak removal spell and a weak creature, but it's 1 card, so it's a good card. Give this like a, I don't know, 6? 7? 7. A cross between a Geralf and a Simic? It attacks as a 3-faced serf. Alright. Really makes no sense at all. What is Geralf? It's a creature, right? There's a creature named Geralf? Let me look that up real quick. Geralf. What is this thing's deal? Oh, that's right. I remember it from what is this? Midnight Vow? Yeah, Geralf Visionary Stitcher is a human wizard that makes zombies better. Huh. And then apparently there's, you know, references to Geralf in other sets, but I don't know those, so. Okay, well, this is a strong creature, like I said. The connection to the name seems tenuous. You know, destroy target creature with power 2 or less. Yes, it's a sharpshooter. Didn't really manage to make it a Naga. Oh well. And I'm not a big fan of the art. Next up, we have the Vault Warden. Okay, this is an incorrect card. It just got confused here and started putting cost. You can pay a cost to activate the ability to pay a cost. So the art's pretty good. The Hoarder's Dream is in your library. Okay, we're just gonna ask for a new Vault Warden, please. Anyway, this is the monster that would you would find in the vaults, and it would trap you inside the vaults and make you unable to run away from the hordes of enemies attacking you. All right, this time we have a 3-mana blue 1/1 flyer. The Spirit. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Its arms are ghostly whiteness in the gloom of the unknown. So on this one, I kind of love the art. I don't know what is happening in here, but it looks like there's a vault, you know, metallic doors behind it. This guy is clearly geared up in lots of metal armor. The creature is absolutely awful. I mean, not as bad as Orc Priest, but it's bad. And it seems to bear no resemblance to what I thought you might get out of Vault Warden in the like actual mechanical sense. So A+ on art. The rest, not impressed. Orb of Fire also generated with no text. This is a you would find like they're just basically flying fireballs that wander around and shoot more fireballs at you. They're like collapsed stars or something. I don't know exactly. So we're just gonna re-roll this. Give me a real Orb of Fire, please. It takes a moment to generate cards, which is why I pre-generate them before I start the video. Still nothing. And you have to wait for it to actually finish rendering the art before it'll let you make a new card. I mean, I guess I could open a tab, but I'm not going to. Okay, so that's Orb of Fire. Give me an Orb of Fire, like something with a type and a cost. That's all I ask. Even if it's a vanilla creature. Something that you could legally play in a game of Magic. There we go, that's better. 1/1 artifact creature, Golem. Whenever Orb of Fire attacks, you may exile target creature from a graveyard. If you do, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. This is kind of a weird reanimate, right? Like, it's probably only going to get to attack once. If that. Because it's so tiny, they'll just block. But you can reanimate something from your graveyard, your opponent's graveyard, whatever. And I bet in like a Dimir rogues / control deck, they might be able to make this attack many times, right? That's the kind of thing they do. Like you maybe have some enchantment that says this creature can't be blocked. And they try to remove it and you counter it. And then you just start like reanimating big dudes. But is that rogues deck really going to be running a lot of big dudes? I mean, it has creatures it would like to hit. So I guess like you could bring back your Thief of Sanity or something. It seems fine. I bet there are constructed decks that would run this. And I mean, you wouldn't take this in every limited deck. Well, maybe you would, actually. Because, like, if they spend removal on this, you're thrilled. They spent one of their relatively limited pieces of removal. And if they don't, it gets to attack once and reanimate like the biggest creature from either player's graveyard, which is kind of insane for 1 mana, even though it's a little bit slow. Oh, no, it does say it's owner's control, so you can reanimate from their graveyard, but if you do, they get the creature. Okay, so it has to be your deck. Still, should be pretty good, I think. Give this card like a 6 for limited. Maybe it's a lot better than that, but I don't think it's worse. Really bears no resemblance to what a Dungeon Crawl Orb of Fire would do, it right? It shoots fireballs and mutates you, but okay. It is always your first instinct to prevent the horrors of the Moloch. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's a horror. The art's okay. It doesn't really look like an Orb of Fire, but it looks like a creature holding an Orb of Fire, maybe? So I will give it a pass. Next, yeah, these last 3 monsters, including the Orb of Fire, are ones you only find in Zot, the final area of the game, where instead of being a serious crawler, it's just like got a bunch of silly, weirdo monsters because the Orb of Zot is warping reality or something. Anyway, so a Killer Clown is a 4-mana black zombie horror. Whoa, that's an effect. It's a 2/2. But you can pay 2 mana and tap it to destroy target creature with power 2 or less. His craving for knowledge about the unhallowed. I mean, this seems very good in limited. It's like nuts. I mean, I don't know. It's a 4-mana 2/2, and they remove it with a shock or something, and that's a little embarrassing. But, you know, if it eats some of the removal, it's not the end of the world. And if they don't remove it, it's a serious threat. They just, like, start losing all their stuff. I would give this a 7. I would draft this in a lot of black decks, I think. And you can even block first. If they have, like, a 1/1, you block the 1/1 and then tap it to sack something or destroy something. Very good. The art is fine, I think. It looks like it's underwater for some reason, or maybe in, like, not a desert exactly, but like a dry, wooded area. Kind of like some kind of wasteland. I don't know. But I love the colored hair and the absolutely psychotic, like, I don't know. It looks covered in blood and who knows what. Very, very good for a Killer Clown. And last creature, the last thing you're going to face in Zot, probably. The Orb Guardians. A 4-mana white 2/2. It's a core spirit. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target card from a graveyard. If you do, draw a card. Like, fine? In a set with like actual graveyard synergies like Midnight Hunt, I think this would see a lot of play. And even without that, it's like, 4-mana 2/2 draw a card. I mean, it's not that good, I guess, right? Like Midnight Hunt has Search Party Captain with the exact same cost, right? 3 and a white. It's a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. But you can make it cheaper by attacking with stuff first. On the other hand, it doesn't have the graveyard hate. So, like, I would say it's on par with Search Party Captain. Give it like a 4. Kind of mediocre filler for most decks. Some remnants of their dream from the close of the turn are back. There you go. There's some dungeon crawl monsters reimagined as Magic cards. Some good, some bad. The art, I don't know. This session, I've really liked the art on most of these cards. Like, okay, Naga Sharpshooter, definite miss. Orb of Fire doesn't capture what I wanted, but the art does look good, and it's like I can tell what it is. Killer Clown is weird, but that's sort of like as intended. Orb Guardian, yeah, I mean, it's guarding an orb, I guess. It doesn't look at all like the Dungeon Crawl Orb Guardian, but that's sort of reasonable to expect. I don't know if there was like a new update, but the art looks great in this video. So anyway, there's all these creatures. I'll try to remember to actually like provide links to the cards in case you guys want to look at them yourself. And maybe even put little section markers on the video. Wouldn't that be something? Probably not, though. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more dungeon crawl thingies, but not monsters, something else.